Yeah, when you're first starting your runs, don't focus on resetting, just focus on finishing the run.
Exactly. Okay, so you might want to explain this chapter, GT, because I talked a lot in chapter 1 and I got tired. So,
Alright, so this chapter is not really that difficult except for the Horseman and Masakato. Those two are very RNG based because of the random health, and Masakato could just block all your arrows. Well, once we get there, we'll explain more.
yeah. Don't forget to pick up the flank swallow.
Oh, you
Very.
also didn't pick up like cards.
Mm-hmm. This one, do not skip it. Do not skip it at all. They become very, very handy at certain chapter.
I recommend the only one you skip using is a Smogon
Yeah.
if you're already comfortable.
Okay, so let me explain this movement a bit. Whichever the direction you want to go during the wall run, make sure that you release the stick from neutral and move it to whichever position you want. Okay, we're gonna come across Ninpo that is extremely powerful, Fire Wheel. Ninpo's and Sigma version are way, way stronger than NGB version. However, there are certain scenario which makes you question if it's that powerful, why it doesn't knock down the horseman.
Yeah, that's pretty nonsense, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's nonsense because, you know, certain changes of this game that is very, very questionable with the enemy's hitbox and stuff. You're gonna also come across Smoke Bomb. Do not skip this at all. It's very, very important on the next chapter. Yeah. You can see me that I'm controlling the camera a bit. If you control your camera around while moving, it helps your movement to stay in shot. So it's highly encouraged to you to keep in track with how your character control is. Recenter when it's needed, move around the camera when it's needed. So there's a trick here that may not always consistently work, the Muramusa Download Shop skip. The easiest way you could do that from here, do not press anything, right? So you don't press anything, turn Ryu, center the camera, do a raw jump, backflip, shop. That's how you do it. So you turn Ryu, center the camera, jump forward, and then back roll. If you do that successfully, you'll skip the dialogue, but sometimes there's a weird bug in this game where you can't. You still have to deal with the dialogue, even though you skipped it, you know. Here, for our first shopping, we're gonna get Inferno. Very, very important info. It's very, very useful. And it only costs 1k. You can still, like I said, you can refer to my menu optimization guide on how the buy route and equip route is like. Now, we bought Inferno, and that's it. Gonna skip it. Yeah, see? If you stay in for so long, you'll have to deal with this again. You can pick small elixir if you want. It's highly encouraged if that's your first time in the one. But whenever you see this, elixir of the devil way, just pick it up. Just do not ask me why, do not ask me for what, just pick it up, because the way that Ninpo drop works in this game can be really, really obnoxious. Sometimes you get really lucky and then you question yourself, why did I even pick it up? Now you interact right here. Jump, take the bow, immediately go to the menu, equip bow, Inferno, use Life of the Thousand God. Okay. What's about to happen here right now, it's very complicated. It's a lot easier to explain in NGB because in NGB Horseman is very consistent. However, in Sigma, you need to do it in such a specific way where you have to skip that one last Horseman. I'll show on how the way I do it, right? If worse comes to worse in that fight, you're encouraged to use another ninpo if needed. But the way I do it is probably helpful for you to understand the fight better on how you need to prioritize and such. Now let's get started. So jump away, wait for that arrow guy to come close. Ninpo. Yeah, this can happen. The reason why they get knocked down is probably because of the extra damage they took from Inferno, but sometimes they won't get knocked down at all. So in this case, we got lucky. Sometimes you knock both of them at the same time, which makes you wonder why. But the main point here, you need to kill the last two horsemen two at once. So right now we knock down the arrow guy, you kill it with Fiend Seal. And then you take this essence, charge for it, use ultimate technique. Now that you finished using ultimate technique, you do flying swallow. Then air bow attack. If it hits, that's good. If it doesn't hit, that's fine. Now, if one samurai gets knocked down, try to not kill him. Make sure that you focus on the other horseman to knock him down.
What I like to do is once I knock the second one off, I'll ninpo right after, and it'll hit the horse.
Yeah. So after you knock both of them down, do Azure Dragon into ET. And that's it. That's how you skip the fight. So when you try to knock horsemen down, just use Wind Path, FS into a bow. Again, Wind Path, FS into a bow.
One thing to note also is when you do that ET, one of them might survive.
Yes.
And that's not optimal.
Well, one of them might survive, so that's why I always make sure that I do Azure Dragon first, so both of them can line up properly. If you do a raw ET, they won't. There's a high chance that both of them won't die at the same time.
I don't know if this actually works, but I saw someone do a forward Y on the dead body and then another attack. I don't know how reliable that is, but that might be a save.
That might be a save, but the way I did it, I think, is probably the easier for you to understand and do it. Like, you do FS into a bow. FS is pretty reliable against the horseman because even if they block, you can still use bow in the air, where in NGB you can't use bow in the air at all. So you still have a chance to get hit. I wish if there was a save nearby so I could repeat this fight over and over, you know? But that's fine.
Yeah, the closest save is that one by the waterfall.
Yeah. So, let's make a save here, in case if I mess up on explaining something. So, Masakado. You know, like, some say would just shoot arrow, lol, you know? That's the strat of that guy. He's an RNG heavy, you just want to make sure that you're able to shoot him bow as much as you can. But I'll show you another way of dealing with that guy. Basically killing the mages and grabbing their essence while you use your ET. If you feel like he blocks way too much. But the main thing you need to prioritize that the camera angle focused on mages. So, you know, when you shoot, they won't just come close to you at all. So he's blocking now. 1, 2... Okay, we got some decent arrow shots here. Okay, if you killed the mage, don't be afraid to use your ultimate technique. You get some good damage out of that, you see. So if you just wanna, like, you don't wanna shoot with arrows anymore, just kill the mages, and then do ET. It's not too bad. It's not too bad when you do this approach. Like, you don't have to, when you're getting started...
No, you just got a nimble bonus there.
Yeah, I just got a nimble bonus. But yeah, when you're dealing with this boss, you try shoot arrow as much as you can, but if you feel like he blocked way too much, you can just proceed to kill mages and then spam ultimate technique. That's one of the most reliable way of killing this boss. In a decent speed, you know? After you kill Masakado, you get one of the most important scrolls in the game, counterattacks. And then there is some neat little trick we could do here for the movement skip, where before the fire thing comes out. Right here. Move around here and then roll. See? Right here. Where you need to be. If you move here fast enough, you could just get into the door before that fire right here comes out. So this is a mandatory lost fight in Doku. All you gotta do is just to jump in front of him and tell him to grab me please, or hit me, you know. It's straightforward.